In this session, let us revise what we have learnt in the previous session about relationships. So we learnt three different types of relationships: one-to-one relationship, one-to-many relationship, and many-to-many relationship. So next one is relationship instance. I have told you already, instance means example. So example for relationship instances are, for example, here it is given: works for. An employee works for a company. So the relationship between an employee and the company is works for. Okay. And the next one is degree of relationship. The number of entity types involved in a relationship is known as degree of relationship. So what do you mean by entity types? I've told you entity, you must keep it in mind as table. So if there are two tables involved in a relationship, then it is called as binary. Okay. So if there is only one table, then it is called unary. If there is two tables, it is binary, and if it is three, then it is ternary. For example, an employee of an organization acts as a manager of few other employees. It also connects one entity to itself as a loop, because the manager is itself an employee, but he is a superior to few other employees. So manager of is a unary relationship. Manager of is an unary relationship, because the manager is an employee and others working in the company are also employees, but he is superior to other employees. So in such case, this relationship is unary. Supposing, as I told you now, an employee works for a company, it connects two tables. One is employee and the other one is the company's department. So then it is called a binary degree of relationship. Supposing if a customer purchases an item and it involves the shopkeeper also, then it is a ternary relation. Ternary means three. For example, here the customer is involved, the item that he purchases, and the shopkeeper. It involves three tables. So the customer may purchase many items. A single item may be purchased by many customers. The shopkeeper may have many products for sale. So it involves three tables. One table about the customer details, one table about the item details, and one table about the shopkeeper who has many products, many items. So it involves three tables, and it is a ternary relationship. I hope you are clear with the degree of relationships. Degree of relationships is the number of entities involved in the degree of involved in any relationship. Okay, it is called as the degree of relationship. So this is very important. Degree of relationship. So one means the employee is itself a manager to other employees. It is unary. So an employee works for a company or a department in a company. So department one table, because the company may have many departments and the employee belongs to one department. Okay, he works for one department. So employee details, we'll have the name of the employee, and there will be department details. So both table can be connected. Employee works for the department. Okay, so it is binary. And then customer purchase an item from a shopkeeper. So three entities are involved: customer, item, the product, and the shopkeeper. And it is a ternary relationship. The next one that we are going to learn is cardinality. It refers to the number of items that is included in the relationship. It is similar to the degree that we learned now. Degree of relationship and cardinality are more or less the same. Okay, so the number of entities, I told you already, entities means you must keep in mind as tables. Okay, in one set is mapped with the number of entities of another set via a relationship. So there are one-to-one relationships, one-to-many relationships, and many-to-many relationships. Okay, so in one-to-one relationship, a person drives a vehicle. So just now we learnt one-to-one relationship. A person drives a vehicle. Okay. And in one-to-many relationships, here you have the example: the customer places an order. Customer can place many orders for many items. So customer places an order is a one-to-many relationship. The next one is many-to-many relationship. Students register a course. It represents many-to-many relationship. Though there are some similarities between degree of a relationship and cardinality, degree of a relationship informs you the number of entities, number of tables that are involved in the relationship. Okay, and cardinality also represents the number of items in the relationship. So between two tables, what kind of relationship? One to one, one to many, or many to many relationship. It represents the relationship. It emphasizes on relationship, whereas degree represents the number of tables. Okay, then we will be moving on to the ER diagram, which we learnt already. So ER mainly concentrates on three elements: entities, attributes, and relationship. Entities means table, attributes means the column heading in each table, and relationship is the relation between the entities and the tables. Okay, we saw these symbols already in the previous class. Okay, and we saw an example. We'll move on to introduction to MySQL. So MySQL is a software. Okay, it is a database management system, DBMS, founded by Monty Widenius, and he named this after his daughter's name, My. His daughter's name was My, so he named this as MySQL. So it is very mandatory to understand MySQL if you want to use databases. So we have already learned a database is nothing but a structured collection of data. டேட்டாவை டேபுலர் காலமில் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணி வைக்கிறது தான் என்ன சொல்கிறோம், டேட்டாபேஸ்ன்னு சொல்கிறோம். இந்த டேட்டாபேஸ் எஸ்கியூஎல்ங்கிறது டேட்டாபேஸ் கிடையாது. எஸ்கியூஎல் இஸ் நாட் அ டேட்டாபேஸ். ஓகே, எஸ்கியூஎல்ங்கிறது டேட்டாபேஸில் இருக்கிற டேட்டாவை நம்ம கண்டிஷனுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி அதுலேருந்து டேட்டாவை எடுக்கிறது. ஐ டோல்ட் யூ அன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இன் த ப்ரீவியஸ் கிளாஸ். ஸோ யுவர் கிளாஸ் மே கண்டெயின் டீட்டெயில்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஆல் த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் இன் த கிளாஸ் இன்க்ளூடிங் தேர் marks and everything. Suppose I want to see only those students details who have passed in a particular exam. So நிறைய டேட்டாலேருந்து கொஞ்சம் டேட்டாவை மட்டும் எடுக்கிறேன் based on some condition, and this is called query. இந்த query செய்கிறதுக்குள்ள சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெக்னிக் அதுதான் என்ன சொல்கிறோம், structured query languageன்னு சொல்கிறோம். SQL, structured query language. So MySQL is a software that helps you to accomplish this query language. Okay, so the current version that we use is 2003, and MySQL is a open source software. We have already learned open source software. It is free available. You can even modify it according to our need. Source code irukkom, nammale eduthu supposing if we know it, if we have the knowledge to change it, we can change it. Okay, it runs on multiple platforms like Windows, Linux, and is scalable, reliable, and it is fast as well. Okay, now we'll move on to heavy and light databases. You have already learnt in animation. So this is very important question. The databases are broadly divided into heavy and light databases. Heavy databases, it supports all desktop applications. So desktop applications systems, it represents applications that you use with the systems. But nowadays we use lot of web applications, internet based softwares நிறைய நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். In that case heavy databases was not able to withstand the internet traffic. அதனால we go for light databases. Okay, here you see light databases. Most web databases use light databases. Example for web databases you would also learnt in the animation. When you reserve tickets, mostly it must be very fast. We expect it to be very fast. In that case it must be light databases. So it is stored in the cloud, in the internet, and it can be accessed anywhere. Okay, so below are the list of commonly used database softwares. DB2, MySQL that we are going to learn, Oracle, PostgreSQL, SQLite, SQL Server, Sybase, and so on. So because many of us are using nowadays internet, we go for web applications. Okay, so all desktop applications are also converted to web applications. So heavy databases did not meet out the network issues efficiently. So instead they started using light databases that supports the applications. So MySQL is one of the commonly used databases in the world due to its ease of use. Ease of use na easy நம்மளால அதை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்க முடியும். So before getting into the practical part of MySQL, I would like to give you some light on MySQL administrative tools, which you have already seen as an animated video. MySQL administration tools. ஸோ அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் டூல்ஸ்னால் என்ன, அந்த MySQL சாஃப்ட்வேரை ஈஸியாக யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு ஓகே உள்ள டூல்ஸ் தான் என்னது அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் டூல். அண்ட் ஒன் சச் டூல் இஸ் PHP MyAdmin. We'll be using PHP MyAdmin. There are two other tools. One is MySQL Workbench and the other one is HDSQL. Okay. So PHP MyAdmin is the most popular for web administration. Okay. So mostly administrative tool of MySQL is written in PHP only. That's why we'll be learning PHP. PHP is one of the important softwares that you have to learn in 12th standard, and your practical programs are dependent on PHP only. So the main feature is the web interface, importing data from CSV file. CSV file is similar to the Excel file. Okay, it is supports any spreadsheet software. And it can also generate live charts of activities like connections, processes, and memory usage. In the animation video posted last week, you would have seen the charts, live charts examples, isn't it? The next one is MySQL Workbench. It is a database tool used by developers mainly for visualization in the form of charts. Okay. So its basic release version is 5.0, and nowadays we are using 8.0 that supports all types of operating system. It is basically used in data modeling as well as it is used for server configuration. It is a backup for MySQL. Okay, so it is very flexible and comfortable. The next one is HDSQL. So it supports graphical user interface. It is also an open source tool that helps you in managing the database. It is used for monitoring the server, the host, the connection between them, the databases, and the tables, events that is inside the database, etc. So this is a big question which you have to learn today. MySQL administration open source software tools. You must learn PHP MyAdmin, MySQL Workbench, and HDSQL. Okay.